All right, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, watchers, we got a very special episode today, man. This is my first episode, very first guest. So let's get to that money. All right, I'd like to welcome today's guest, coming from a nice town, nice section of Philadelphia. I don't know where that is, but we'll get into that. Underground artist, entrepreneur, owner of Harper's Junk Removal, aspiring tomato and teriyaki
Yeah,
sauce boss. Uh, DaBull FESSE. I pronounced that right?
yeah.
AKA Mr. Drunken Drawn. I don't know what the drawn is. I'm not on the Philly terms. Uh, I'm sure we'll get into that. So, I mean, hey, thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for being first guest. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Thanks
Opportunity.
for having me.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff. So, first question right off the bat, man. What's the nice section of Philly?
No, it's a section called Nicetown down in North
Oh,
Philly.
really?
Yeah. It's not too far from Erie Avenue. It's like in the middle of all that, like Huntington Park and Erie. It's just like a little section called Nicetown.
Bet. Yeah, I've been to Philly like 3 times. I went up there for New Year's Eve one time. That shit was pretty wild. And then I went up there for like a Monday night football game versus the Giants. And that's when I kind of like re-linked up with Ross Ass. I was like, yo, I'm here, man. So he showed me around a little bit. That was cool. Yeah, bet. So with that aside, now that I know that there's actually a literal town called the Nice Section, which is
Nicetown. Yeah.
nice town. Crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. But so you mentioned you got into music at an early age, right? What's early? How young were you?
I wasn't even in my teens yet. I was born in '88, so I caught like that real heavy wave when hip hop really first started.
Right.
So, I looked up to a lot of rappers that came up in that era. And then, during in my family, we always had like Sunday days where we clean up and they just played music and all types of music, R&B, hip hop and everything. So I was always, inspired by music. I like music.
What rappers inspired you?
Shit, look, Queen Latifah, I got a big crush on her.
Okay.
Queen Latifah, Big Daddy Kane, NWA, everybody from like that '80s era is what I looked up to, like LL Cool J, KRS-One, all the old school legends.
Bet. Yeah, you don't hear that very often. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people that come up, they immediately jump to like the most mainstream people.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's pretty dope. When did you find out like kind of like you could actually pursue it, like get into the recording of it, and like, oh wow, like for me personally, I was 20. I was in Hawaii. That's when I met Ross Ass. And we had a mutual friend, and he was like, "Yo, we're recording in the barracks room." And I was like, "What? You can record in your room?" So I didn't know that. So kind of, when did you realize that was something that was you had the opportunity to do?
I was about 14. I moved to West Philly from down Nicetown. I was about 14, and I always rapped before I moved to West Philly, but I got cool with some guys that was in the music also, and they was start recording. And one of my homies made beats, so he used to make beats. We used to rap on this stuff, and I've been recording ever since like 13, 14.
What was he making beats on? Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were telling me, unfortunately, being younger, you know, as it's common with most people that are coming up in the rap game, they kind of had a heavy influence in the streets. Um, and you were saying that it kind of took a little bit of control, sidetracked you a little bit. Why do you think that's like such a common thing for people? You know what I mean? To kind of like stick to the streets, but still try to pursue a dream, but make the streets the priority at a certain point in time. You think it's just like you're younger and that's what you're seeing?
Yeah. When I grew up, I just grew up to the people that I looked up to people that made money.
Right.
And I had like a little troubled childhood where I used to take stuff from people, and after a while, I was like, as I got older, I realized it wasn't cool, so I wanted to make my own money. And the fastest way I seen making money was, selling drugs. So
Right.
I had jumped into that at 14. Started selling drugs at 14, and that money was coming in, and so much was going on. I stopped thinking about music after a while,
Right.
having trouble with the law and everything like that. But I still was trying to make some money to get in the studio and, pay people for beats and stuff like that. So, and then it sidetracked me because I was spending too much time on the corner instead of, all right, making what I can make and go write some raps and get in the studio. I was just so used to that money coming in. So you know, it just held a lot of things up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that, man. It's like, you know, you think you're doing something just for this money, but it starts trapping your mind, right? Like, it's not just something that you're doing like a job, right? It's something that you got to think about being on that corner, who's on that corner, the way you move, what shop you're going to, all these different things. So it's almost like, I always tell people, it's almost like you're in prison before you're in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just so wrapped up in what you're doing, you ain't got time to think about nothing else. You know what I mean? You might go to that studio and see someone there that's doing the same shit as you, that has those street ties like you do. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, nah, I can't go there, I can't do this, or this person ain't gonna work with me, that person ain't gonna work with me because we got beef.
Right.
So yeah, I was just wanted to touch on that because I think a lot of times it's so often, you know, even in my upbringing, you know, Ross asks me shit because I'm originally from Ohio, this super small town, but you know, the same kind of thing, rules apply. You know what I mean? When everybody's broke, everybody's fighting for the same money.
Yeah, they go for what they know.
Yeah, and you start going along these weird lines to where, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this dude got something I can do. You know what I mean? Or this, that, the third. So what kind of changed your mindset? When did it hit you like, yo, this ain't gonna work? I can't balance these two things, or I can't balance, you know, what I want to do, my goals, with what I am doing.
Actually, when I had my son, and I realized I did like six months in the juvenile placement. When I came home, I still went back at it. It was like, it changed me a little bit because I started moving different. And when I came home, I ain't been locked up since. But when I had my son, it was really like, I got something to be out here for. So it was no need. Whatever I had left, I got rid of it. And I ain't touched no drugs or nothing since. I just stayed out the way.
Kids be doing that to you, man. They changed the way you look at the world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I gotta
he changed everything,
bro. I know what that's like.
Right.
What? So, you said you had to overcome some obstacles in the music business when you were trying to start out. What were some of those obstacles?
Man, just trying to get my foot in the door and get people to like my music. At first, it was, you know, everybody not gonna like your music.
Right.
But it was like, you know, I was trying to, you know, build the team around me. And, you know, at 1 minute, you know, everybody be with it, but when it's time to move, you know, everybody got a bunch of excuses. So it was like, I was in and out of different groups and in and out of different studios, just trying to network with people. And it was like, it wasn't working. So just like recently, I want to say like within the past few months is when I really said, all right, I'm gonna just sit and try to go hard with this music. Because everything I try, I spent so much time trying to help everybody else and put everybody else on while I'm trying to get on myself. And it didn't work, but now I'm focused 100% on me.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, you said you dropped your first mixtape, Slept On, in 2018, right?
Yeah.
And one of my favorite tracks on there is Vent, but the other one is Idols Become, what was it? Idols Become
Rivals, yeah.
Right. And I think that kind of touches on some of the obstacles that, you know, do get thrown at you when you're coming up in the underground in certain cities, right? Because you kind of work with different people, you look up to different people, and you try to make these different moves and stuff like that, and you start finding yourself in conflict with a bunch of these people because your minds, you know, ain't always synced up, and then it's money, right? So money always gets in the way of friendships, connections, and things like that. But I wanted to ask you, you know, doing music from since you were younger, what was the process like for you recording that mixtape? Like, what was your expectations versus what was really going on when you were trying to put it together? You know, because everybody has this grandiose thing like, oh, I'm gonna get in here, I'm gonna bang this mixtape out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then things start hitting you different ways as you're trying to do that process. So what was it like for you?
I basically felt like I had something to prove because I had a mixtape that was gonna come out before that. It was called Loyalty, Respect, Honesty, and Trust. And I know Raw, he gonna bring it up. He used to be on me about it. Then after a while, it was like I was putting out so much music, I just felt like people wasn't hearing me, so I felt like they were sleeping. So that's where the name actually came from. Okay. And then when I was doing the songs, it was like, I gotta give you 150% to show you how I'm coming. So like every song that I did, I tried to give it my all. So my whole process was just, I gotta prove these people wrong. I gotta show them that I got it. So that was my whole motivation behind it, just to make people bob their head and like yourself, like say they got favorite tracks. Even if you said it was one track that you liked, I would have been cool with that. I felt like I proved myself wrong. Thinking people were sleeping, but some people are listening.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm. So, did you have the opportunity to like you know, one of the tricky things in the underground is getting beats, getting the agreements about how to use the beats, how much to pay for the beats and shit like that. Because I personally know I went to audio engineering school, and like I said, when I was out in Hawaii with Raw, like we were doing mixtapes and stuff like that, and you know, you get into these different things. We had the fortunate resources to where we were just recording out of somebody's house. We had all the equipment in there like that. So did you have the opportunity to like have people around you that like, you know, you could just go and record, pop up whenever you wanted, or was it something like you had to get the bread up, go find the beat, go find the studio time?
Yeah, everything came with a price. So I made sure I came correct before anything. I wasn't looking for no handouts, nothing. So I ain't real big on people saying, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
It was like I had to come correct every time. And then when I go in the studio, I make sure everything is prepared. I don't waste studio time sitting there trying to write a verse. No, I come prepared with everything, money, music, and everything. So
yeah, I think that really structures. I think personally, I think that's better. Like if you're gonna jump in the music game, because it makes you respect the process a little bit more. When you just have a homeboy that has his own little studio and you can pop in and out all you want, it's like sometimes you don't take that. It's not as impactful to you. You know what I mean? You don't get in there and you're like, all right, let's do this. This is my money on the line. We got to do this. Where you can go in there and, you know, fuck off all you want and shit like that. So
I go in there, it'd be like damn near down to the ad libs I know by heart. Like I come prepared with everything. Yeah. And as far as the beats, it was more so of industry beats. I did have a few that's a friend of mine gave me, but most of them was like industry beats. But now I'm at a stage where I'm really investing in myself. So the industry beats, I'll do like little freestyles on. But my projects, I'm using straight original beats. And then it's also helping me and the producer. So the producer, whoever made the beat, get their name out there, and you know, I bless the beat. So it's helping both of us.
Yeah, the mixtape is just an appetizer to get you to my real content. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And you get into those situations like you alluded to earlier. You say you don't want to ever be to where somebody, you know, you think you owe somebody, or someone's trying to say, hey, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be doing this. Right. Especially when you go into these like home studios and stuff, and everybody's kind of starting out the same, and you come in there and you're just ripping shit up. There's jealousy factors. They're like, nah, I'm shutting this down. You know, right. I can't let you shine. Come in here and shine like that.
Oh yeah.
So I feel you on that. It's a crazy thing, but like I said, the Idols, that was a really good one. I enjoyed the story that you were telling on that.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought that it was rare for me because you don't hear a lot of underground artists talk about like the struggles of, you know, who's around you and who you got to maneuver through in your own city, and also the people that are sitting up there. You know, sometimes, you know, you look at them as those idols, and sometimes when you do have the opportunity to maybe work with them, communicate with them, or whatever it is, they don't really give you a time of day. Right. You know, because that's their stream of money, and they don't want nobody else swimming in it.
Right.
And so that's the thing. And the other one, the venting one, like I said, when we were talking on Messenger or whatever, that was a really dope one. I like some of the lines you were dropping like that about your son and stuff like that, which, like you said, was a change of mindset for you.
Yeah, he changed everything.
Put that pen to paper and speak about it.
Right.
And congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Father, man.
Thank you.
The other thing I want to talk about was that what are some of your best and worst experiences with the music game?
My best experiences. I ain't really have too many highlights yet. Like, cause I'm really like trying to get in there now. Now I'm really like focused on it. So I'm waiting for the highlights to come. But my worst experiences is basically, it's not like one Philly rapper that you can name that I ain't reach out to try to network with, and they either ignored me, hit me with a crazy price like they were signed to Def Jam or something, or you know, they just fed me a story just to keep me quiet. So that's the only part. For now, I don't reach out to nobody. I'm worried about myself. So that was like the only worst experience I had so far.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. Yeah, I had some pretty bad ones. These people trying to like, hey, let's do this record. I put together a whole record for them. I did it on this old school like chord beat machine. Yeah. I don't know if you know about it. It's like Magic's music program. It was like, you could buy it for like $40 at Best Buy or something. Like, so it wasn't like no Fruity Loops or nothing like that. Anyway, I did a CD for this dude. He come down, did a whole CD. I printed out the labels for him, and I'm like, yo. And he's like, and I didn't ask him for nothing. I was like, I just wanted to learn, you know. And He's like, oh, I'll give you like $3 a CD. You're selling them for 10. I'm like, oh, bet, that's cool. And then to come to find out, he was back in Ohio. He was trying to figure out how he could print and copy the CDs so that way he didn't have to cut me in. And we kind of had a little conflict on it. There was a little bit of misunderstanding, but it just goes to show you like the ups and downs. Like, really? How you gonna cut me out when I didn't even ask you to cut me in?
Right. So and then you did a lot of work for him. He should have just looked down the eye.
Right. And and then we talked later. It was a misunderstanding. The person that told me that he was doing that, it really wasn't that. So it's just the game. So we grown now, and it was like, all right, I see where you're coming from, man. I understand. But that's good, man. I'm glad that I'm glad you turned everything around like that, like I said, and that you can, you decided just to focus on yourself. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna really get into this, and hopefully, man, get good success on the mixtape, and it brings you fortune to come. When's the next one coming?
I don't have an exact date on it right now, but I scratched the whole mixtape because, like I said, I was using industry beats. So I scratched the whole mixtape and I'm gonna start over. I got one instrumental so far, and I'm looking for some more. So, when I get, I'm gonna put like 7 songs on it and put it on iTunes and everything. So.
Oh, by the way, the YouTube videos are really good too. Really well done.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to JT with the cam and my man John Visuals. They shot the videos.
Nice.
Shout out to them.
So not only music, you got this junk business. How'd that come about?
I just was at a point in my life where I wanted to work for myself. I got tired of working, and it was something that was brought to me like, yo, you could remove whatever and make something out of it. So when I did the first few jobs, I liked it. So I said I'm just start a company with it, and I went and got my LLC and everything, and just running smooth. So if anybody out there, y'all need some junk removed or anything, y'all can hit me up on my DM. I'm about to get a number for it soon, but it's called Harper's Junk Removal. It was just basically me trying to boss up, and make my own moves, become my own CEO and everything.
There's good money in that, man. Yeah. I had to use some 1-800 junk, and they be killing you with the prices on that.
Yeah. We in the process of getting trucks and everything, and we trying to cut all of them out. We trying to beat their prices.
So, yeah. And then you have, like we were talking earlier, the sauce moves. What's up with that? How you maneuver into that? I know Raw, he was in the culinary thing, and then we got Chef Ski Bob Spider. I don't know if you know him, but he's in the culinary thing. We got a couple segments cooking with him.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Raw for that cook off, man. You talking trash, man.
Ducking you? You can say he's ducking you. You can say he's ducking you.
Yeah, he ducking me.
Yeah.
I know he gonna see this. He ducking me with that cook off. It's like no, but I've been cooking for a long time. Like I want to say about 7, 8 years old. Like my first meal I learned how to cook was spaghetti. Like it wasn't nothing to it, but brown some beef, heat the sauce up. But being that age and learning, I was always mom motivated me to cook. I used to sit in the kitchen and watch her. So and I would take her little ideas and put my own little twist on it. That's how I learned how to cook. And then as I got older, it went from me just, my mom being at work and I gotta cook for my sister to it being a passion of mine. So I always cook coming up, and I'm into different sauces. Like pasta is my favorite food. Like I like different types of noodles and sauces. So I'm in the process of starting my own tomato sauce. From fresh tomatoes and everything like that. Then I, just freestyle playing around. One day I made a teriyaki sauce and put little ingredients together, and I had a few people taste it and they really liked it. So that's where the sauce thing came about. I'm in the process of making homemade tomato sauce and homemade teriyaki sauce.
That's a big business, man.
Yeah.
It's a real big business, and it's pretty, I want to say stress-free, right? Because every industry has its stresses, but I mean, to do that, like there's gratification in that. It's like, I'm making this, people are buying it, get it in stores. It's probably a lot less cutthroat than music for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
there's less bullshit you got to deal with also.
Right, right.
Yeah. And then I'm I'm in the process of trying to get in the food truck also. So be on the lookout for that. So I don't really have a name for it, but I'm in the process of starting a food truck, a mobile food truck, instead of just having one of those trucks that's just sitting on the corner.
Right.
When you come to Philadelphia and you see the food trucks, you see your average lunch truck with the hot dogs and breakfast sandwiches and stuff, or you see a halal truck. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do something different than that and bring that to the city. So that's something I'm working. I ain't gonna say my menu or the route that I'm going. I want to buy a try. But yeah, so I'm in the process of getting a food truck together too.
Yeah, food trucks are real big in DC right now, and it's funny you say that because I was on Instagram and I was just checking out a bunch of different accounts that are in DC, and they had this one truck that's called Swizzler, and what they did was they took, you know, typical sausage, brats, franks, but they did them gourmet. Like they'd have like different, like the expensive cheeses on it, all these different things, and they were killing it. And the way they started was they were doing on Instagram, they would just announce where they were popping up. And then they went to a food truck, and you could go on their website and see where they were all going to be. But now they just opened up the first brick and mortar. So it progressed really fast for them. Like this was all in like a 2-year period and I was like, man, they're killing it with just hot dogs and sausages. Like that's kind of, you know what I mean? Like the turnover on that. I mean, when you're charging like $8, $10 a hot dog.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's also about like making sure your stuff is good and stuff not being so high. Because everybody lately, like they charge you up and the food just like horrible. So there's two things you got to watch out for, like the prices and making sure that the menu is good.
Right. Yeah, and location, right? Being able to pop.
Right.
Location.
Okay, yeah, definitely a location. You don't want
locking them licenses down, making sure your health inspections are all good. Right. So that's what's up. But yeah, like, so ultimately, big picture view, right? Like, what's success to you in all of this? Music, you know, the sauces, the junk removal. What's that look like to you? What's success?
What's success to me?
Yeah.
Making sure, you know, when I'm gone, my kids is set, my wife is set. So I wanted to be a generational thing. I want to just be something while I'm here. I want to be able to pass it down to my kids and they pass it down to their kids. You know, just the food truck and the sauces, they ain't gonna be it. I got a lot of stuff in the works, but I don't want to speak too soon.
Right.
Yes. So right now I'm just starting off with the sauces and the Harper jump removal, but basically I just want to have something that I could just keep passing down. You know what I'm saying? As long as they follow my formula, they'll be able to, you know, pass it down to their kids. So,
yeah, that's crazy, man. That's good to hear, man, because a lot of people, when you ask them that question, they just jump straight to money.
No, ain't.
Right? Like,
it's stuff I really have a passion for. So it's like I don't think about the money. I just, you know.
And in a way, you're not even thinking about yourself. You're thinking about setting up the foundation for your family. You know what I mean? Like, where they can just inherit something down the line, and it just keeps continuing. So that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't think that way.
Right.
But yeah, man. I mean, that's all the questions I got, man. You want to plug some social media accounts? Where to find your mixtape?
Right now, y'all can find Slept on thatpiff.com, AudioMac, and Hawkshare.com. Y'all can be on the lookout for any new videos and everything on my YouTube channel, Drunken Drawn TV. You could go follow that on Instagram also, and my DaBull FESSE page, the DaBull_FESSE, or you can hit me up on Facebook at the same thing.
All right, man. Bad. Hey, you got to run down the DaBull thing. What is this?
DaBull.
Here's the Philly thing that it's nonstop. I'm hearing, and I'm like, what is it?
DaBull is just like, you know, like you DaBull. Like if I'm having a conversation with somebody and, you know, I'm trying to describe who you are. Yeah, you know, DaBull that did the interview on FESSE. It's just like saying the guy or something, but guys, we just say DaBull. That's all. And the Drunken Drawn thing, drawn is another word that we say. It's like, yo, you out of pocket. And sometimes, you know, Drunken Drawn is my alter ego, and sometimes he act a fool, so I gotta watch him sometimes.
Yeah, because Raw's always like, bung. And I'm like, where did that even come from? All these slang words.
Yeah, he's been saying that for years, man.
Yeah. So that's what I was wondering. I never, for some reason, I never got around to asking about the DaBull thing. I was like, what? Like, I just always like just went in one ear and out the other. I didn't think.
Right. Yeah,
I thought I was hearing it right. Like I think it means that, but you never know.
It's just a little Philly slang. That's all.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. I don't want to keep you too long, man. I really appreciate you jumping on here, taking the time out. Tell me about yourself. It was nice meeting you, man. Hopefully one day I get to, you know, when I'm up in Philly, maybe chill, hang out.
Yeah, we definitely can link up. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too, man.
I thought you should know. I I did a lot of fucked up shit in my lifetime. Don't regret it, I just admit that I wasn't in my right mind. That's why I take time and give you pain when I write lines. I'm God's gift, even through the rain, nigga, I'ma shine. They relate cause I'm thorough. Shit, Feast trying to change the world. While y'all beefing, I'm trying to give the world to my baby girl. Whatever under the sun, I provide for my son. Give it all to bring